Welcome to another beautiful afternoon at Eastern Stadium for soccer. It has felt all day like it was going to storm at any minute. It did not. The weather has held out. The sun is behind the clouds. We got some nice wind coming from behind us. How you doing this afternoon, Marshall?
I'm doing well, Josh, doing well. We got a nice cross breeze going right now. It looked like it was going to be a little muggy, but the wind's helping out. It's a good day for soccer.
We introduced the starters in white and brown for Lansing Common. Trotting out the same 3-5-2 from last week. We've got Ben Derby, Kevin Payne, and Max Crawford along the back line. We've got twin sixes of Spencer Powell and Avery Dresky. Three more midfielders of Brett Swatton, Munir Shirali, and Sammy Omar, and then twin strikers of Ty Uziak and Jack Voigt up top. Today, the boys are facing Tulip City United FC. Tulip City lost 3-0 in Holland the first time these two lined up. It was actually a Lansing Common lineup that looked very similar, although obviously the formation was completely different, but a lot of commonalities. But what we do know is this Tulip City side wants to make a good showing in this matchup at the very end of their season, and they always play us tough. So look, should be a good match this afternoon, our final home game of the season from Eastern Stadium. We're going to let the PA finish announcing the starters. We're going to roll out the ball here any minute as the Euros Championship is well underway, showing no signs of slowing down the supporters group over on that opposite bleacher. Today is Lansing Facts Day at Eastern Stadium. Lansing Facts is one of those things where if you know, you know. I described it as a semi-satirical social media community in the script for the PA this afternoon, and that is really what it is. It's an ongoing series of jokes on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and the authors, the hosts, are here themselves in the flesh. They will introduce themselves to the fans throughout the afternoon with a series of activities we have planned. They will be on the stream pretty close to after halftime. We've also got, as we often do, a surprise guest for the stream coming up later on in the first half. So it should be a lot of fun, as always. We aim to have a good time. We aim to give our viewers a good, just a nice little taste of what it's like to spend your summer with us here in Lansing, while also watching soccer. Today should be, we hope to see more of the same from earlier in the week as the reserves staged an impressive 3-2 comeback against Troy United. And the first team went down to Holland and took down the Strike Rovers in a dominating end-to-end matchup. And as I say that, Marshall, Spain's got a goal. It's 1-0 in the Euros in the 47th minute.
That it is. Well, that was quick. Coming out of the second half.
We've seen plenty of that at Eastern Stadium this season as well. The quick start out of halftime as Kevin Payne approaches the officials for the coin toss alongside Tulip City's goalkeeper. And the team lines up for the photo with the starters. Don't forget KP.
Now, if Spain holds on to this would be a heck of a day for their country, for sports, as young Carlos Alcaraz took the Wimbledon title this morning. And if they can hold on for this win, that'd be a heck of a day for sports in Spain.
There was another Spanish athlete that did something today that I saw this morning, but it's not top of mind for me. But no doubt the cross-athletic crossover is real over there. And, you know, it's always fun to see England blow it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the final.
As both teams look to take the field here, looks like we're going to get underway pretty soon.
Matt Charteau is the who's on the PA mic today, is the world's biggest Spain fan. So trying to hand signal to him that there's been a goal, as I know that he does not know unless I tell him.
Looks like he's checking his phone. Hopefully, an alert of some sorts has told him.
Maybe Dean texted him. Very similar uniform matchup this afternoon. You are going to see Lansing Common from the right to the left in the brown and white stripes and the brown shorts in the first half. Tulip City is in white tops, black bottoms, going left to right across your screen in the first half. Waiting for the referee. Number 25 from Tulip City is going to kick it off.
And we are off.
Trying to play up the right. Spence Powell cheats over, cuts it off, and they go back to the center back. Trying more of the same as Spence came a little bit out of position. He gets right back in, takes the ball off his man. Nice touch from Spence, over to Swati. And back to Ben Derby for the reset. They aim to cut away the ball to KP, so we play back to Sean O'Mara. He finds Max Crawford. So the smoke from the supporters is just a little limited in its effectiveness thanks to the wind this afternoon. You know there's going to be a lot of it, though. Whatever's left, everything must go. Smoke clear out. There's also some merch sales today, and for those who aren't here but want to get their hands on some merch, game-worn jerseys. That auction's live and going. We got sizes up on those, and the auctions end at 8 o'clock this evening. Local time, of course, for those of you in a different time zone or continent.
Max Crawford with the ball. We'll give it over to Mooney. Mooney will give it right back to Max. Max taking the space being given to him. He switches field.
Great big ball over to Ty. They successfully trap him, and he plays back to Ben Derby, who goes long again.
Slings one towards the middle of the field.
Jack Voigt applying pressure, but it's headed back to the keeper, no problem. A lot of familiar faces on this Tulip City squad, including the keeper, including most of their midfield. And then this fella number 2 down here playing right wing wearing the sunglasses, I believe played for Bearings last year.
Tulip City will look to play a ball up.
A little bit too much freedom for them in the midfield, but nothing to make of it.
Now, Josh, I have to ask, do we have any wagers today on this England and Spain game?
Not me personally. I got a buddy who's got a nice three-way parlay that's the last leg is Spain winning. And, you know, whether it's just personal rooting interest or just being a hater, nothing wrong with seeing England lose in a final.
Exactly.
I've got too many ancestral ties to people who tried to fight off the yoke of British tyranny to ever want to see them succeed. So,
fair enough. Fair enough.
Across multiple continents, to be clear. Nice little bit of footwork by number 8, and Avery comes up, snuffs it out, forces it back. Tulip City resets. Looking for the switch. Jack Voigt takes it away, and they play negative back to the center back. Too easy, says Brent Sorg. And yeah.
Sean O'Mara will come out and grab that one.
The thing about this 3-2-5 that Lansing Common has now is usually with a formation like that, you are making trade-offs. And Ty finds Jack Voigt in the box, forced to play it back to Mooney, who looks to shoot. Now passes, sees Swati. Mooney with the big ball in, unable to quite get there, but it is on frame, forces a save. It's typically that 3-man back line, you're making a sacrifice there, but because this team has Spencer Powell and Avery and Brett Swatton, and even Sammy Omar to an extent, who are all eminently switchable and very good defenders, you're not really making that same trade because you got those 4 additional defenders who can pull back and add to that back line if necessary. And so Kevin Payne is a little bit more comfortable coming out of his central position because he knows that he's got guys that have his back.
Yeah, it definitely helps when you know your guys are versatile enough to get back and play defense if they need to.
A lot different than last year's back 3 for Lansing Common when that was really based on roster limitations. And a lot of times Kevin Payne was put in impossible situations because of that. And he's going to line up a corner kick here in the 6th minute.
This ball will be played in towards the back post. This looks like a couple Robins got a touch on it, just weren't able to convert there.
Kevin Payne wasn't able to get tall enough. Ben Derby knocked it back into the mix, and somebody got a foot on it. I didn't see who. And Ty goes for the ambitious shot attempt. A lot of practicing of the big balls before the game, and not surprising to see what he had in mind for that. Ty now takes it and turns. Doesn't see Jack Voigt. Plays it a little bit too long for Mooney, who now defends. Keeps his man bottled up. Keeps the second man bottled up. Spence comes in to help. Mooney back to Ben Derby.
Great effort from Mooney there.
Yeah.
Winning that ball back.
Yeah, Munir is, by his own admission, somebody who did not show up ready to play 90 at the beginning of this year. And
that was a big question.
The work that he's put in over the course of the season to get ready and to get back into vintage shape has been really impressive. So ball from Brett Swatton into the box, finds nobody. And Tulip City has some space to work with along the right flank.
Sean O'Mara will come out and grab that one. They'll roll it out to Max Crawford, who's on the run. So play a ball up.
Sammy keeps it in, but
great effort.
Not able to get enough velocity on it to get it over to Jack Voigt's position. That is a dangerous place to go for a slide like that as the concrete starts about 6-8 inches off the end of the turf. Oh, great ball by Ty, and somebody was offside apparently. Maybe out of bounds. Offside, the ref will say, as we will have a Tulip City free kick that's resulting in some conversation.
Always love a good conversation.
Tulips go long on this one. A little bit of a shove, but ends up with the ball going back to the Robins. Avery sees Brett Swatton, who has acres of space to work with. Takes it.
Looking to play a ball up there.
Right back to Brett Swatton. Gets a little bit too saucy, and then takes the ball off his man. Ty Uziak has space to work with. He's got Brett on the overlap. They call offsides.
Wow.
This is the, by the way, the same assistant referee on the far side who was either AR on the near side or perhaps the first official a couple games ago, and got into it with a couple of our guys, most notably Seth Russ, who left that game with a red card and a suspension to boot. So he knows what he's in for when he's making those kind of questionable calls on Ty. Mooney dribbles out of trouble, back to KP. KP finds Max Crawford, gives him a little bit too much work to do. Tulip City calls for a handball on Spence Powell and gets the call. This one dies up in the air, and Ben Derby takes it right off his man, who he's got about 6 inches of height on. Brett Swatton sees the man with no pressure, comes up, forces a pass. 10 is asking his guys to get into position for him. Now Tulip City's got a little bit of a possession going, and Robins take it right away, and it resets. They got space to work with on the left wing. Max Crawford with a wonderful tackle just in the nick of time. Oh, what a crazy flute goal as number 23 kind of chipped a rainbow over the guys in the box, and all I can guess is Sean O'Mara didn't see it till it was too late. From no shots and no attempts and no danger whatsoever for Tulip City, and the field really tilting in the opposite direction, comes 1-0 to the visitors in the 11th minute.
It looked like that ball was almost deflected of some sorts, or it just the way it came off his foot was really weird. But nonetheless, here it is. 1-0 Tulip City in the 11th minute.
Jack Voigt loose, finds Sammy Omar, who puts the ball in. Oh, Brett Swatton just unable to bring it down. He had Ty Uziak standing right next to him. Great ball, way up in the air by Sammy Omar. I'm not quite sure how he landed that so firmly on target. There's a stiff breeze coming from behind our backs, but he did, and it was right at Brett Swatton's feet. Maybe he was a little surprised as we were.
Yeah, it looked like Swatty and Uziak were having a little bit of a conversation there. Didn't know if there was kind of a spacing problem or if one of them wasn't sure who was going for the ball, but nonetheless, it'll result in a goal kick for Tulip City. As they'll switch field over to the left side. So they'll play it back over to the right side. As that shot just goes left.
Ben Derby got tangled up, didn't expect there to be an extra attacker there. He found himself one-on-one with the keeper, and rather than just pass the ball into the far post, as he had plenty of room to do, he decided to go for the upper 90 Sports Center top 10 opportunity and sent it well wide.
It'll be a goal kick for Lansing Common as Sean O'Mara will boot this one.
Mooney with some space, sees Ty. Ty's got Brett Swatton coming on, does not see him. The attack is halted by the officials, who call a foul on Tulip City and award a free kick about 24 yards out from the goal. Mooney standing over this one as the conversation between the whistled defender and the official wraps up.
So it'll be a shot that just hurls just over the goal.
Mooney went for goal, and he got that a good bit closer than I think the keeper knew he was going to. He looked like he thought he was easily going to miss that, and it really dipped down in a hurry at the end, but it did not get it on target.
Yeah, the keeper didn't seem to move much there. As he'll boot this one up. The Robins look to attack. We got Sammy going up the right side. So play it over to Jack Voigt.
Jack Voigt, all kinds of space, sees Ty Uziak. Ty gets a header and just not able to get enough velocity on it. Was able to win the ball, but yeah, played the header and.
It was good passing there from the Robins.
Yeah, no doubt.
This ball will land at the feet of Ben Derby. Give it up to Avery. Avery trying to move through traffic, and he's going to earn himself a call.
Nice little bit of footwork there just before forcing that foul, really. Ben Derby sends this one into the box. Looking for Kevin Payne. Avery's got all kinds of room. Puts it back into the mix. Ty, unable to get this on frame. Tulip City going to set up for another goal kick. And Ty has had all kinds of opportunities, just looking like having a hard time getting his head on straight today. He was the first man here today, 2 hours before kickoff, and was stretching on the field, getting loose. And I know he thinks he is owed at least another goal out of this year and would love to get that one today. Had Jack Voigt, but the keeper came out, and Jack Voigt says thank you very much. Unlucky, we'll get it next time. 17th minute, 1-0 to Tulip City. Long-time viewers of the stream will remember Cam McLaren, who we now welcome back to the stream. Cam, how you doing this afternoon?
Good, actually. It's been a long weekend. Just glad to spend my final few hours in Lansing at the place that I used to call home.
What have you been doing for the last 9 months? It's been a long school year, I'm sure. 9 months. It's been 12 months since you've been up here, brother. What's that year been like? I know you've been over on the East Coast, but our viewers, including Leonard in Australia and others who might miss you, now having to deal with me playing lead on the play-by-play, might not be as familiar with what your academic pursuits have brought you since leaving Michigan State.
Yeah, so luckily found myself in a job and a good opportunity to get my master's degree, a 2-year program at Sacred Heart up in Fairfield, Connecticut. Currently working in their athletic communications department as well, covering their women's soccer team, their women's ice hockey, cross country, track and field, which we just had our women's track and field team take outdoor champions of the conference, so that's been good, ring season. Along with that, 4 teams as well as equestrian, so that'll make it 5. But yeah, just a lot of writing, social media, a lot of stuff that I did here. Was able to broadcast a few baseball games every now and then, but just helping out with the university's 33 Division I sports.
Cam, maybe you're the good luck charm. I didn't know that that your university had such success in athletics, as this one goes wide. Fortunately, some great defending after Sean O'Mara took himself out of the play. And Tulip City's going to have a throw.
Yeah, one of the we had conference champions in women's basketball. They made it to the NCAA tournament first round. Unfortunately, upset by Presbyterian. Almost had a date with South Carolina, which nobody wants to play if you're a collegiate women's basketball fan. But yeah, men's lacrosse won a championship, regular season, and I believe in the tournament as well in the MAC. It's good times at Sacred Heart as well as we transition to the MAC, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, opening a brand new arena as well for basketball and volleyball after just opening our brand new hockey arena, $45 million, I think it was, about a year and a half ago. So it's pretty cool times up at Sacred Heart.
If we do see a dramatic comeback, it's entirely on the backs of returning Robins this afternoon. We're going to know that we got to have you back in 2025 because it is the horseshoe.
Yeah, it really has to be,
What have you seen here in the first 20 minutes from our boys that maybe surprised you, maybe didn't surprise you?
I think a little bit has to be. There's something going on in the midfield. In my opinion, I think the team's playing a little bit too square. A little bit too narrow. Tulip City, along that lead up into the goal, had a lot of room along the right side. And I think that's really just been the main culprit of the first 20 minutes or so, has been that a lot of room along the wings which is not really typical of a Lansing Common side to give up that much room.
Yeah. What is typical of a Lansing Common side is to have just a ton of various midfielder and winger-shaped players, and a lot of depth in that part of the squad, and less so along the top line and the back line. That one goes just wide.
It's a great job by Ben Derby there.
Weird opportunity for Tulip City that almost results in a goal away from the run of play. And Brent Sorg thinks he's found a solution to that roster irregularity, or regularity in the case of Lansing Common history, with a 3-5-2. And so that worked really well against the Strike Rovers on the road on Wednesday. It continued to work really well with the reserve squad on Thursday. And just a little bit of scuffling this afternoon with what's still a new formation, let's be clear.
And that's understandable, but this is also, if I remember correctly, these are a lot of guys that players like Ty Uziak and especially Munir Shirali, they've seen these players for years. I mean, looking back, I remember Andrew Marsh, Nick Beal. I remember a lot of these guys in the first game that Lansing Common played against the same side about three-ish, 3.5, 4 years ago.
Cam coming to us from a time back when the opposing team used to actually give us rosters. How about that?
Must have been nice.
Yeah, I mean, now you just have to fight for it.
I shouted that out as well, Cam. I just didn't have any of their names handy. As Max Crawford wins, gives a corner over to Tulip City, but with a great challenge to take the ball off the attacker.
Yeah, a few of these guys like Nick Beal, who I believe is starting in the back line for Tulip City, was a reserve, or at least a substitute in the first meeting that they have. But, you know, Andrew Marsh, you know what you're getting in that goalkeeper. He's not afraid to come out of his box, as you saw on a few of those opportunities for Lansing Common. The 1-on-0 that Ty had, you know, just got to put a little bit more pace on the ball, put it in an area where your guys can get to it.
Not a lot of bodies in the box for Tulip City on this one, and Ben Derby is first to it for Lansing Common, has space to work with. And looking for Ty Uziak, who is one-on-one. Ball trickles out of bounds for a Tulip City throw-in.
Yeah, and as a little bit of a participant, I would say, from the broadcast, watching these on YouTube every now and then in my free time up in Connecticut. But you know, Josh,
there you go.
And I actually have never met you before. We're over here. I'm over here just coming in, and you're taking my spot. But, from what I've seen, it's been a little bit of some interesting results for the Robins this year. You know, kind of take me a little bit through, especially Josh. You've been here since, you know, day one, especially of this season squad. You know, what was kind of the message and the recruiting philosophy going into this season?
Yeah, so perhaps unsurprisingly, in large part, the message and the recruiting philosophy was we're going to be consistent. And Brent Sorg is looking for guys who are consistent. And so that meant a lot of the same faces, and then we will identify the gaps where they exist. I think two of the unexpected misses, unfortunately, this in the offseason were along the back line, as Landon Hungerford stayed in Buffalo, went to FC
Lando.
Buffalo, and Mark Wishmeyer from that rock-solid midfield position went over to Oakland County, both USL League Two sides. And so those were two then holes on the roster that Sorg had a lot of options to decide, because the other thing that happened this year is we developed and recruited for a full reserve side. And so there's a lot of youth on the 40-man roster, as it were. Not a lot of those guys are necessarily going to get time in the first team, but with those late scratches from the 2024 roster, a lot of time this season has been spent on figuring out how best to put the pieces together with two huge losses. And then Munir Shirali obviously was a late commitment as he was coming back from med school, and was, as we were saying just before you got in, by his own admission, not at all fit to play 90 when he showed up, but has put in a lot of work to get there and has done really great work and has been vintage Mooney today and for the last couple weeks, I would say. And just a lot of other guys. I think in week 1 of the season, there was a large gap between the first team and the reserves, and so it made those decisions really difficult. Now those decisions are still difficult, but in a little bit of a better way, as the gap has closed, as that reserve team has really come along really well. That game against Troy, that was a Troy side that was about half made out of their first team, a first team side that's been super competitive in the East Division of the Great Lakes this summer. And the reserves just put them away 3-2 after giving up a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and you kind of you touched on it too, and I'll see if I can. Hopefully, Lando will make his way over to Park Ave Field up in Connecticut. I believe we host Niagara this year, and I think he's still got another year left up there at Niagara with the Purple Eagles. But no, you kind of touched on it a little bit. There's a lot more parity, it seems, this year compared to the last few years, especially in this league. A lot of people that are able to, or a lot of teams that are able to recruit a lot better, get some guys, especially coming up on the road. It's a league that's not necessarily prone to road wins, but it seems like this season it's been kind of completely the opposite, especially in the Great Lakes.
Yep. Well, and there's also a new team, Northern Indiana, which is helmed by the head coach of the local NAIA side, which, as you know, gives that squad a lot of roster flexibility in the way that recruiting from NCAA sides just does not. We've seen that in the USL League 2 local team across town. Lansing City, obviously able to pull a lot of guys from Spring Arbor, and has had a little bit less success with that as in the old days of Lansing United used to pull those guys. But certainly it's a big difference, and one that side has exploited, going undefeated so far in their league season. But other than that, no question. Just in the middle, certainly. Other than the first place and last place team, you never know what's going to happen. Sammy Omar with a nice win. He's got options and snuffed out, although it goes out for a corner.
Yeah, you know, Andrew Marsh is just one of those keepers where you know exactly how he's going to play. He's in your face. You know, kind of a Manuel Neuer, I would say. He's not necessarily prone to be a sweeper keeper, but when he makes up his mind, he's going for it.
What a comparison. I love it. Because we have Noe Macias, Owen Rush, and Kyle Buchan getting loose in the sidelines.
Nothing like a little half-hour triple substitution, especially from a Brent Sword coach side.
Hey, that's the other highlight this year. Is the you can now return.
Roll on, roll off.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
So we will. I don't know about Mooney, but we will certainly expect to see Avery in the second half.
The Robins will line up a corner kick here. They'll play it in. As that ball will soar out of bounds, it'll be another corner kick.
Yeah, going into the win too. This has to have some pace on it.
So that one was a low one, and it'll be booted out of the box. Yeah, especially with the win, it's gonna be tough to play that ball up in the air a little bit.
There you go.
So that's another ball played in the air.
Good.
Oh, Sammy Omar with an unreal strike that just went off the right post. As the Robins will look to reset.
You wanted that right peg too.
He went right back to it.
Oh, good tackle.
Kyle Buchan beats his man to the ball. There's a nice surprise from the 2024 roster for you, Cam. Kyle Buchan.
What's the story?
We've heard all kinds of great firsthand things about him from his college coach, Ross Anderson, who's joined us up here a couple times. But he was somebody who absolutely...
Olivet Ross?
No doubt Kyle Buchan was brought on to maybe see some first-team minutes, but not feature the way that he has. And played the entire second half on Wednesday in Holland, and then was in the roster for the reserves 24 hours later and played a solid stretch of that game as well.
To have a shot on goal here.
Bucky lined that one up with his left and just right in the keeper's waiting.
Little scuffed, kind of deer in headlights moment for, is that Kyle? See, this is where usually I would have done my research, but I planned this trip about 6 days ago, so.
We don't mind you being a little bit uncomfortable. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's where the magic can happen sometimes.
It's so funny. It's such a huge 180. Oh, water break time. Yes, my favorite.
No, there he is. Okay. I'm trying to figure out who Kyle Buchan went in for. Mooney. There we go. Okay.
You said you got to call a couple baseball games up there for Sacred Heart.
Yes,
How was
sir.
that?
Oh, great! Last baseball game, we had town halls. We had the entire athletics department, all the coaches, staff, everybody out there had a little tailgate. They decided to play Quinnipiac. You know, it's a little 11 o'clock game.
Oh yeah.
Took 4 hours with a pitch clock. Oh my God!
Even
we had
with the pitch clock?
walk-off single, 18-17. Nobody wanted to win that game. It just seemed like nobody wanted to win. We had a few scoreless innings. We put up like 9 in the third, and all of a sudden the Bobcats just came back, and it was just like, what are we doing? Like, what is this? And all of a sudden it's, you know, Gavin Donahue's got his brother on third. He's trying to bring him in. We had a whole bases loaded situation. All of a sudden, Donahue just puts this little just top spin, absolute dart past the first base bag. You know what's going. His brother's on second. He's rounding the bases. I'm trying to figure out how to call this thing. Walk off 2 RBI single. Good for Gavin Donahue. The Pioneers ultimately lost to Long Island in the NEC Baseball Championship up in Wappingers Falls. But, yeah, no, just baseball. It was a very good baseball season for the Pioneers. Not a very good hockey season, but that's all I will touch on in that regard. Can't win if you don't score on a 5-minute major. That's all I will say. But Sacred Heart men's soccer made it all the way to the NEC finals. They didn't think they would. Women's soccer, I had a nice 7-hour trip to Howard University in the heart of Washington, D.C., and
there we go.
Lost 1-0. Not a very fun bus ride back with a lot of crying collegiate athletes. You know, if anybody's seen me cry, I mean, geez, there's a few of us up here that I have. But
Cam, you would have loved this answer. Max Crawford was in the booth 3 days ago during the reserve game, and I asked him about his recruitment process, and he said he was researching the Midwest Premier League and watched our documentary.
Nice.
And then reached out to Sorg after watching that. So
he said he absolutely loved the story.
We got to give Kyle Clayton some credit for that one, because Max is a dude who's not only been a stalwart in that he's evolved into that right back position and has held it down throughout the year. But he has also talked a little bit about recruiting some guys, maybe from college, maybe from the Kalamazoo area where he played club and grew up going to high school in Paw Paw. So we will see, but I know that he would love to be back next year and likely will be.
Oh, Paw Paw. Always remember driving past that high school to get back to Texas. Nice drive down 96, and you just pass it. Beautiful. Yeah, Kyle, you got to put that documentary out to a few college coaches, see if they can get some of the players to come over. You know, play for this side. I can't do all the heavy lifting. Come on, buddy. Man's got a day job now, too. Good for him. It's always funny when I used to tell people, yeah, I'm in a documentary. Really? Yeah. I'm in a documentary. I'm in an Apple TV movie as well?
We might not have time for that story on air.
Yeah, if you have,
I'm going to want to hear it, though.
If you ever have an inkling, look up Boise State on Apple TV. I'm in a few scenes over there. Of course, they had to scrub about 10 hours worth of footage. But that's neither here nor there.
Great touch by Sammy Omar, looking for his shot. Shot gets deflected, but settles for the Robins, who are back in the box.
That's a foul.
Brought down, and the penalty is awarded. Owen Resch winning that one. And there was no doubt about that. Oh, my goodness.
You know, the urban saying goes, like, you don't play with your dinner. And that's kind of what Lansing Common was doing within the first half an hour. And, you know, Owen just decides to take it upon himself. Get to the box, give yourself an opportunity, and when you feel pressure, go down. Now, mind you, that was a full-fledged foul, so I'm not saying he took a dive, but, you know, that's what happens. Go straight towards the goal, go north-south. Too much east-west playing, at least in the first half hour. You award yourself a penalty.
Owen rewarded by his teammates with the opportunity to take this one.
As he'll get lined up.
Owen Resch cashes the opportunity in. That is a goal by Andrew Marsh. It is 1-1 in the 35th.
Yeah, you knew that ball had to have pace on it. Never mind, he's got to retake it.
They will say no goal.
Encroachment.
Okay. Tyuziak a little bit too close, and the referees are attempting to say that this is going to be a goal kick for a fault on the PK. Brent Sorg is furious. And the Tulip City players don't seem to be ready for the restart. They've probably never seen anything like that happen in a game before either. And Tulip City right back on the attack.
Yeah, and if you're Lansing Common, you just 5 minutes, you got to put the head back on straight. Nothing's going to change the referee's mind. You got to switch on.
It's just an unfortunate sequence of events there as Sean O'Mara go
Great
up and
save.
grab that ball.
Maybe Sean's going to play those ambitious long balls a little bit differently from here on out, as he seemed to be caught by surprise by that one once again.
Kind of looked like an outfielder that had misjudged a fly ball a little bit. As the Robins will look to throw this one in.
And it seems as though, correct me if I'm wrong, that this year especially, stop and start play, or at least set pieces, have really favored the Robins. At least from what I've seen in a few of the games. You know, being able to quickly play up, quickly play on, switch off, switch on, I think it's been something that the Robins have struggled with in recent memory, but have kind of taken a front foot, I would say, in this season from what I have seen. But you also do lose a little bit of the build-up play that a lot of fans saw in those first 2 years, where you had guys like Dante Morissette, Kyle Scott, Aiden O'Connor, guys that were comfortable in possession with the ball that could just really ping it around for a little bit and had that build-up play, especially with the formation. It kind of just seems like this season it's a lot bit more set-piece based from what I've seen, but, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be completely wrong. Oh, hand. Here we go.
We're going to run it back here, it looks like.
Run it back. Might as well. Everybody hold the line.
Let's let Owen Resch take this one again. I would say the scoring's been shared a little bit more. There's not been
spread the wealth.
There's not been one Jack Voigt or one assist leader like Ty Uziak. It's been a lot more spread around, and that's unfortunately been not consistent across games.
Ping it.
That one will find the back of the net.
Not be called back as Elijah Moss blows it by the keeper, and he is once again going to have a conversation with the head referee about what he found objectionable about that. And he's not going to find a willing audience for this one.
I mean, there's nothing. He didn't stop his run. There's nobody even remotely close to the box.
That's the advantage you gain from a wily old keeper, as Brent Sorg is still having a conversation with the AR down on that bench, looking for an explanation that he has not gotten yet.
Yes. Yeah, that's going to be a talking point, but it's going to be moot at this point.
Well, it is, and you know, the penalties don't matter as much as the overall result of the run of play, which has favored the Robins to this point. And so if they can just continue to press that advantage, continue to win fouls or not, just score goals, then they're going to come out with 3 points on this one.
Yeah, and it's a complete shift from the first half hour. You know, a lot more direct, a lot more pointed, I would say, in the attack are the Robins. And at least the last 9 minutes, you know, you're awarded 2 penalties, and that's because you're playing a lot more direct. You're not being a victim of circumstance at that point. You're pushing your own opportunities. You get the foul inside the box, and you get the handball by playing a ball that has an opportunity to find 1 or 2 guys inside the 6, and it just doesn't.
And it's really started when Coach Sorg started putting the subs in, and you got to think he put an emphasis on just kind of attacking and wanting to not, as you said before, kind of play with your food a little bit, just go out there and get it.
Elijah Moss once again finding space. Had an opportunity to make a probing pass there. Plays it back to Bucky, who sees Daniel Silva, who subbed in during the interregnum. Sammy Omar free along the side of the box, looking for a cross and just got himself crossed up.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen Sammy actually play. You know, I've seen his brothers play in Shetty and Fetty, but got a lot of pep in his step. He's got a lot of little trickery. He's got some tools in the tool shed.
Shetty will tell you that Sammy is the most talented of the Omars.
Really? Shetty would say that?
Shetty would say
That's
that.
interesting. That's a foul. Yep.
I don't know. He didn't say that to me, so I don't know if that was meant to said it, you know, in confidence or meant to be broadcast. But it's been broadcast now.
Well, it's out now. I mean, don't shoot the messenger at this point, or you can. I'm just not gonna say anything. There we go.
Sammy winning a great ball right in front of the Tulip City coach.
3-on-3. That's a foul.
And taking a hand in the middle of the back.
Surprised that's not a little bit of a stern talking to the 18. You know.
Well, maybe she's afraid of Andrew Marsh.
You know, you know, the game within the game, I would say. The game within the game.
I've never seen a head referee in such a good mood while getting lambasted by a keeper after getting the call he wanted on a penalty kick and then not so much on the ensuing penalty kick. Max Crawford going to line this one up, pop it into the box.
Shallow infield.
Kevin Payne jumped over Bender beyond that one. And
corner.
Yeah, that bounced off a Tulip City player almost into the back of the net and out for a corner.
Yeah, it looked like Kevin Payne was able to get ahead on that ball.
It's the good old-fashioned double assist, if you think about it, in college soccer, the 2 impeding passes that make its way into the back of the net. Just got to get a little bit more height, especially inside the 6th, if you're going to have a guy like KP head that into the box.
Oh, KP just not able to get tall enough for that one.
That ball will soar out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Tulip City.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you want, especially because you know Marsh is going to come out of his net to really try and claw at that.
Jack Voigt doing great work to pressure the defender. Ball goes up in the air, brought down by Daniel Silva.
It's good to see a guy like Danny Silva, who's been here for 4 years, finally get a lot more.
Speaking of consistency, eh?
Yeah. Doesn't even need to try out anymore, honestly.
Rock
I think
solid.
he's got what is that, tenure?
Rock solid.
Man's earned enough playing time for tenure. If they're not retiring our jerseys at the end of whatever 10, 15 years down the road this is, Danny Silva's number is going to be up there somewhere.
As we'll play back to Max Crawford.
We'll have to investigate what a Hall of Fame would look like.
A Ring of Honor?
There you go.
Founding members? Founders Club?
Well, that already exists, but you just have to give money to be in that.
Does it look like I have money?
Max Crawford.
Max Crawford with a little extra on the end of that, not appreciating the treatment he got from the defender on that. Sammy with a nice ball in and snuffed out by the defense.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get manhandled like that, at least just ask for a dinner reservation first. Maybe some Stacks barbecue. Are they yep, that red truck is still out there.
They are out there.
The last time I had Stack's barbecue, there was a swarm of bees that decided to attack me, so I'm mentally and physically scarred.
Well, you are just a couple minutes from being able to maybe run it back.
Me run it back? No. Truer words have never been spoken.
The Robins have been swarming in this last possession, and you know Brent Sorg would love to see him get another one before halftime.
Corner. Yep.
So they're in a corner here in the 45th.
Yeah, I mean, you really need to feel out your opponent within at least the first 15. You give up an early goal, but ever since then, the Robins have, you know, played in the wider areas, but again, more pointed, more of an idea on the attack. That looks good.
As they'll
Left
look
peg.
to move quick here. They'll play it in the box.
Sammy.
Just not able to get there.
Honestly, if I was in the same situation, I would have zero clue what to do. That play just developed immediately out of nothing.
And the Euros have gone final, 2-1 to Spain. It's like an 87th minute winning goal, I want to say.
Gareth Southgate, not the greatest manager in the world.
England losing in the final? No.
England fans sad.
They're going home. They're going home.
Heck of a day for Spain, though.
Did you guys? Did either of you see the front page of the paper in Scotland, The Independent, this week?
No, I did not. I don't read the news.
It was great. It was well, they're kind of a tabloid. It was.
I love tabloids.
It was encouraging Spain to do it for Scotland. Please make those
Do
English,
it for Scotland.
make the English miserable, please. I also saw a pub in Scotland.
Good foul. Let's go.
That was flying the Spanish flag this afternoon.
What was it? Bryson DeChambeau was
good
wearing
no
in
call,
England.
but surprising no call there. That was the other Spanish result. John Rahm.
John Rahm.
Sergio. No, it was Sergio Garcia that won today.
Really good for him.
On the
Wasn't DeChambeau or somebody wearing a
Koepka. Brooks
Yeah,
Koepka.
Brooks. Of course it was Brooks. God, those live golfers.
yeah, Sergio Garcia won today on the Live Tour.
What
so
a day for Spain.
was the other
Alcaraz won the Wimbledon. Can't have a free header.
Sean O'Mara does his best to make sure it is not free, and looked to be a little slow to get up, but
Fans are wondering how much stoppage time we've got. Well, we don't have a.
got about 90 seconds left. If you can hear me down there.
Say, it's about a minute and a half, you know. At least as the crow flies. What an outdated saying, as the crow flies. You never hear it anymore.
Sean O'Mara will boot this one up.
In it, you'll probably hear that at least another 3 or 4 times. now that I brought it up, that's how coincidence works. Also, talk about the growth of like Lansing Common, the roster, and the guys that you guys have gotten, but also the interns. Look at the intern squad. I remember when it was just 5 of us. Me, Eli, Grace, Luca, all of us just picking up, putting down. Oh, geez.
O'Mara will come out and make a good save.
But great work by Sean. Yeah, I think my favorite part about this year truly has been the growth of the team and just really coming into creating that professional, consistent game day experience. Obviously, for folks that are here is so important, but it's not just about the stream and the great job that Scott does on it, and Marshall stepping into some big shoes this year, the guys on the cameras, but also the social media. There's so much that goes into creating those graphics and having a consistent brand and look and feel, and the language that we use on those posts, and making sure that for our fans who aren't able to make it, or for parents or what have you, that it's just a consistent experience. So Elijah Moss just got a little too cute, but able to win it back.
Don't go down. Don't go down. Don't go down.
He just did 3 days ago. He won one over there and
ran himself out of real estate.
Elijah, I think that was a little too cute. As we go to halftime, the score is Lansing 1, Tulip City 1. We thank Cam McLaren for coming up and hanging out with us. We'll be back in 15 minutes with even more special guests. And we are back for the second half at Eastern Stadium. Whew, that was a back and forth affair with some fireworks and a rule that we still haven't received an explanation on. Marshall, what'd you hear from the coaching staff at halftime?
Yeah, Coach Sorg told me that they called the PK back because Ty entered the box before Owen could get the shot off and just kind of threw off the timing a little bit. So yeah, that was the explanation I got from Coach Sorg, and that the refs opted to let Tulip City just play it from there and play it as a goal kick.
Certainly a call that we've seen before on penalty kicks, but not a reward given for that fault. And then to see the Tulip City keeper dissenting with the head referee on the second penalty kick that did result in a goal that was awarded. Just a really bizarre few minutes, but it is 1-1, and we are off for the second half. Tulip City trying to play into the teeth of Lansing Commons press as Owen Resch is going to get a touch on that one, and unfortunately it's going to result in an attack for Tulip City as they're finding some space down the left side. Max Crawford on it now. Takes that ball away.
Tulip City will switch field over to the right side, and they have some space to work with. So they'll play a ball in here that goes a little too far.
Tulip City had one man in the box, and he was way offside.
It'll be a goal kick, and Sean O'Mara will send this the other way. Really like the last 10 minutes or so, or 10 to 15 minutes or so of that first half that we saw at Lansing Commons. Saw a lot more attacks. Just seemed like they were a lot more aggressive in them pursuing to put the ball in the back of the net.
No doubt, as the pressure there results in an immediate turnover. Brett Swatton sees Bucky.
Bucky will play a ball in, just a little too far for Elijah Moss.
The clear goes right back to Swatty, who plays it out for a corner.
Looks like Lansing Common will elect to move quick here. So they'll play the quick 1-2, and this ball will go into the box.
Kevin Payne was right there at the back post, just unable to get a foot on it.
As that ball was not touched by anybody, just soared past KP a little bit. Looks like he was almost, felt like it was a little unexpected for that ball to get through all that traffic. And then a result in a goal kick for Tulip City.
Max Crawford clears this one out. And as this one goes out for a throw-in, we welcome in Ty and Craig from Lansing Facts to the broadcast. Good afternoon, guys. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Josh. How are you?
I apologize. There's not air conditioning up here.
Well.
We're reliant on Mother Nature. The good news is we get all the wind that we're blocking the grandstand from. But yeah, it's a sweaty one.
It's a hot one, but at least the clouds are here, so we're not baking out there in the stands.
That's right.
Just three Midwesterners talking about the weather.
We do it on every broadcast. That's what keeps the people coming back.
I will tell you, I am enjoying these throwback uniforms that harken back to the 1914 team.
Something like that, yeah.
They do look a little bit like A&W uniform. And fun fact, the bacon cheeseburger was actually invented at the A&W in Lansing.
I don't know if that's true, but it is a fun fact.
It actually is true. Like, we have verified this. This is a fact-based organization after all.
So is this the concept of the bacon cheeseburger, or just the addition to A&W's menu?
It is the concept of a bacon cheeseburger.
Damn.
And the way it reads is someone just complained enough.
Another takedown in the box and no call on this one as Owen Rush goes down. Sorry, go ahead, Craig.
Oh, don't
We're
worry
talking
about it.
bacon cheese.
Yeah. You read the Wikipedia entry, it just feels like someone went there enough and ordered a bacon on their cheeseburger.
Right.
That they just were put it on the menu, so
They just annoyed them into submission.
yeah.
What year was that?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Let's look that up on Wikipedia.
Put you under the gun there. Not fair.
We do have little computers in our pockets these days. We do live in the not too distant future.
Owen Rush continuing to do a nice bit of defensive work. So it seems like we've turned this into an annual tradition now. What would you guys say is the one thing that we've done year after year, or maybe that we've introduced this year for the first time that we have to bring back? It's like a highlight that you're going to look forward to in 2025.
Honestly, it's the animal shirts, really. Every year we've highlighted a real fantastic animal locally, of local noteworthiness.
Right.
Things are getting a little hot in the end zone here. Wait,
Good defensive move there.
it's not an end zone. This is not.
Well, I think it's acceptable to refer to parts of the playing surface as a means of getting your bearings. I think that's okay.
The bacon cheeseburger was invented at the Lansing A&W in 1963.
These are the kind of details that you just don't pick up from other lower level soccer broadcasts.
That's correct, Josh. This is a superior. This is a quality organization.
Right. That's right. This is a quality soccer game, you could say. Lansing playing it out of the back. Brett Swanton's got options if he sees him. He's got Owen Rush. Continuing to pull it up the left side. Now Daniel Silva sees Owen Rush. Goes for the big switch. Owen's got himself a little bit of room.
They are.
Wow.
They are.
Excellent little bit of skill. The defender is not happy and is coming back and does knock down Owen.
They are putting
No call on that one either.
putting a lot of pressure on this goal.
Owen picks himself back up and is alone at the top of the box. Tulip City wanted offsides and didn't get it, which is sort of an indication of how under siege they've been, as you said, Craig.
This last call at Stober's out here.
Yeah, I agree about the animal shirts. I would say that with this broadcast, the audience being self-evident, people that couldn't make it in person to the game, but also with everything we do as a club, we really try to represent our community and really give people a flavor for what the community is all about. And so what better way to do that than teaming up with an impossibly difficult to describe running joke on social media, captained by you two, while also raising a little bit of money for a local institution in the Potter Park Zoo.
It's an incredible day for international soccer as well.
That's right.
Just a lot.
We were given some score updates on the Spain-England game, and as well as I'm sure that some folks will be watching the Copa final or Red Ozones after this one goes final here at Eastern Stadium.
Spain and England, two nations that have no history of rivalry whatsoever.
Well, and the great thing is that both sides can feel superior about how, they beat the colonizers, and while not feeling hypocritical about that whatsoever, right?
Right.
Just a whole armada of feelings there.
I just hope everyone had fun.
Because that's really what it's about. It's about
The real Euro finals was the friends we made along the way.
Thank you.
It's about fresh air and exercise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, we were off air on the broadcast at the time, but those who may have caught our video may have seen Craig and Ty hurling a soccer ball with their hands into a trash can which was a completely improvised halftime activity this year. It's been real popular with kids. I think my favorite part was the first kid just slings it right into the trash can. More success than I've ever seen anybody have at that game. Wearing a Tulip City shirt, and he gets up to the prize box, and he looks up with sort of a look of confusion and disgust, like, what the hell is this stuff? Welcome to Lansing, kid.
Yeah. Well, we'd also be remiss if we did not shout out the providers of that.
Yes.
What the hell
Thank
is
you.
this stuff?
Thank you for explaining the half of the story that I didn't tell.
Yeah. MSU Surplus, the most banana store in this town, supplied us with all sorts of wonderful stuff in that prize box.
You guys just told them what we were doing and told them to have fun, right?
Yep.
And they did.
We're just lucky, or maybe unlucky, or some lucky kid could have walked away here with a particle collider.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, the beaker giveaway was not a very rousing
no.
success.
Right.
Yesterday, when I went to pick up the prizes on Friday, they just had a loose motor. And it just had the word demon written on it.
I have done the tour at MSU before of the big particle collider thing, whose name is escaping me, and I saw in some back room they had a bunch of stuff that said destined for surplus, and I was like, oh man, I don't know anybody that's going to have their eye on all of the the nuclear science.
Make your own frib.
Right. Yes. Yes.
We have Frib at home. You know, if you want to try to, like, I don't know, say build a portal to hell in your basement,
right,
on the cheap,
right,
MSU Surplus, they got you.
Oh, here we go.
Great touch by Jack Voigt. He's got Elijah. Couldn't quite get it over to him. Resets to Brett Swatton. Ball in the box. Elijah was there, but the defender was there too. And they call a foul on Elijah. It'll be a free kick given to the Tulips.
That is one thing we have learned with the Frib and particle science is two things cannot exist in the same spot concurrently. We're trying to figure that out.
Applies to both Adams and soccer players, apparently.
Yes. We're hoping eventually Lansing Common can participate in the Quantum Soccer League. It's currently theoretical.
But we might have to add a few additional players for that one, just because we don't want to abandon the Midwest Premier League, so it would be like an additional activity. And I'm not really sure how the stream would work for that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you stream in multiple realities at the same time?
I'm gonna let Scott figure that out.
We'll call it Marvel Studios and get them on it.
That feels like a problem for IT, right, Ty?
Yeah, Lansing Common in the multiverse of madness. Ooh.
Max won the header as the keeper came way out for it, but the defense able to clean up the mess and clear it away. That's going to be a Lansing Common throw-in that Brett Swatton's going to be on.
Well, they round that up. I will say that I did do my homework. I did look up what happened in the year the throwback jerseys are from.
Perfect.
New Mexico was admitted as a state that year. For those not familiar, New Mexico is the newer of the two Mexicos and is a state in the southwestern United States.
Craig, of course, referring to the throwback 1914 kits that the home side is wearing today. Those unfamiliar can check out the launch video that we did for those at the beginning of our season when we put it out.
Now, are those available on your web store, Josh?
They absolutely are, lansingcommonfc.com. They are also available for those at the game today at a discount. And game-worn jerseys, those same jerseys that the guys are wearing right now, are available at auction. That auction ends at 8 p.m. Eastern. Find those links on our social media. And all that money raised is going to go support the local charities that we love so much. Great defensive bit of cleanup by Kevin Payne. Tulip City resets. Jack Boyd with a little bit of space. Over to Brett Swatton. Defender left his feet in the box, but it's out for a corner. Way up, and it beats the defender's foot. Kyle Buchan going to collect this one. Makes the overlap run, and Tulip City lets it run out. Guys, for those who might not be familiar, let the people who are watching know where they can find you on social media and what they might find when they get there.
Well, we're at Lansing MIFAX on Instagram and the artist formerly known as Twitter.
X, the Everything app.
And you can also find us on Facebook.
Facebook's sort of a collection of greatest hits, right?
Yes, that is.
What-
That's the big
Twitter is
show.
our most active platform, and then the things that do best on there make it to Facebook.
And I just want to be clear, I'm never going to stop calling it Twitter. I never stopped
Correct,
calling it
right.
Pine Knob.
Speaking of artistry, a little bit of extra from the Tulip City keeper. Trying to win a foul, he does not.
I think he's trying to audition for the Wharton Center down the street, Josh.
We've had a little bit of that this year, unfortunately. No takers. Great defense by Max Crawford.
Great defense by the drink table there, too.
Sometimes that's our MVP.
Yeah, it's local memes, local jokes, the occasional fact when it suits us,
Right.
things of that sort.
I mean, you came in strong to the broadcast with the bacon cheeseburger factoid. I was blown away.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't eaten yet, so
Probably has something to do with
it's on the brain.
it. Yeah.
The throwback jerseys from that year, 1914, I believe Arizona was also admitted as the 48th state. If you're not familiar, Arizona is also a state in the United States Southwest. I have not been there. Actually, I have. I spent a brief and confusing time in Tucson, but haven't we all?
I would read that novel, A Brief and Confusing
Yeah.
Time in Tucson.
No doubt.
It's like an A24 film, I think.
Yeah, that feels part of their ballywick.
Yeah, maybe Wes Anderson.
You know, they have like a fake town outside Tucson that was built to be a movie set, and it's been a movie set for like every Western that you can think of.
They have a fake town here, actually, too. It's called Holt.
Hey yo.
Believe it or not, folks, that was not pre-planned.
Just like our guys out there in the field, just brilliant setups,
Right.
execution.
Exactly.
Craig put it in the net.
I'm with the jokes. I'm what Ty calls a volume shooter.
He's our Kobe. He's gonna take his shots. He's gonna get his points. Swing at every pitch.
And I'm informed that the surface they are playing on right now is referred to as a pitch.
That's right. That's right. It is also probably about as hot as the surface of the sun right now. It's been cooking in that 86-degree sun all day. So we can be grateful that we're not on that.
As Rob Thomas once said, it's a hot one.
I am familiar with at least 3 soccer words now. I watched Ted Lasso last
Look,
night.
that's where we're going. Oh, I love that. I love that prep.
I watched it for 45 minutes before I fell asleep in my chair. That is not a commentary on the game nor the show. Both I am finding delightful.
It is a bit of a gateway drug to the sport, though, and I don't know that they ever intended for those words to be used in association with it when they were cooking up the idea. But certainly a lot of our supporters, fans of the show, and not concerned about Jack Voigt one-on-one there. Goes by
a little
the keeper,
wide,
but just a little bit wide. Yeah, you know, I think that I don't think there's any shame in saying that embracing just the positive and sure a little corny sometimes is very much in line with the vibes of Lansing Common.
Oh, it's just the vibes of Lansing generally.
That's right. That's right.
Josh, do you have a rooting interest in the Copa final tonight?
This is a terrible, boring answer, but not really. I'm kind of a hater, so like if something like really stupid and memorable happens, like I'm all in favor of that.
You're just there for the content.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
I would like a bird to be on the field.
Yep. I'd be with that, or like a cat, maybe a raccoon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love an animal out of context.
Yeah, especially in a soccer game, because you know the clock keeps running, so it impacts the game in a way that it does in few other sports. Stoppage time for a bird on the field.
In the game for Tulip City, number 6, also number 25, Noah Brummels.
I was informed that tulips, at one point in time, were the original cryptocurrency.
Now we're getting into some of the bits that didn't quite make the cut for the 60-second promo video that we had to put together. A great turn by Bucky. Over to Spencer Powell. Sees Owen Rush. Gets a little mixed up with his man. Tulip City's back on offense. Max Crawford wins the race to the ball, but lets it go out for a goal kick.
Pretty sure number 2 for Tulip City is an undercover cop.
Yeah, we actually asked in previous years whether there was some sort of unfortunate condition that was necessitating that, because we wanted to tell our guys not to talk trash about that if it was something like sensitive, and we were assured that that was not the case. So jokes are inbounds.
Ooh.
Jack Voigt just misses that one. Brett Swatton back on.
A lot of pressure in the goal right now.
A little bit of a shove by Ben Derby.
Getting physical out there.
Gets a rise from the crowd. Now we back on this one.
Prior to that build-up in the game for the Robins, number 18, Ben Novello, and number 22, Spencer Poe. They're replacing number 16, Daniel Silva, and number 9, Elijah Moss.
Ben Novello becomes the rare Lansing Common player to be in at striker after also playing along the defensive back line in a previous game, joining Josh Rosendale with that distinction. Apparently a very versatile young man. Really great ball by Tulip City's number 2, turned away by the defense, and Jack Voigt and Ben Novello now in a little bit of a... Ben Novello walked himself offside. Got Ty Uziak, Sammy Omar, and Munir Shirali lining up to go back in. Spencer Powell wins this with a nice tackle. Ben Derby extinguishes the threat with a nice tackle. Out for a Tulip City throw.
Well, this has been a lovely visit. I think we'll swing by and check out the branch.
I love
during
that.
the second
it
half.
might be a good time to do that because it seems like this game is ramping up in intensity the same way it's been ramping up in temperature. Appreciate you guys coming on, giving our viewers a little bit of taste of Lansing. Follow them at Lansing MI Facts, wherever you get your social media content, and hope they can help bring a breath of positivity to your feeds.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, guys. Gotta go get my burger at A&W now.
That's right. That was Noe Macias with a great shot, just blocked by the defender. Owen Rush wins that challenge. Tipped out of bounds for a Lansing common throw. Corner, sorry. We welcome Marshall Acosta back to our second mic. Marshall, any words of wisdom from the last 20 minutes that you wished you were here to say?
Just that we converted on that chance where the ball just rolled past the right post. Other than that,
Yeah.
I'm liking what I've seen so far offensively. We just got to start converting.
And apparently Ben Novello can play striker. Who knew? Ben Derby with a great attempt. Tulip City elects to keep it alive and clear it out for a Lansing common throw.
Yeah, it's funny. All we've seen Ben Novello play this year so far has been kind of center back and out on that left back, but making his presence known today at forward.
Subbing into the game for the Robins, number 7, Ty Uziak. Number 3, Samuel. And number 10, Aladdin Musharelli. They're replacing number 5, Brett Swanton. Number 12, Jeff Hoyt. And number 2, Kyle Buckin.
Max Crawford with
Big
the
throw from
winding
Max.
throw-in.
Mooney's fresh legs beat the defender to this one.
Owen
Over to
Rush.
Owen Rush.
Beautiful ball played in. Oh,
And that is the third or fourth free header that Lansing Common has had off a big ball like that they've just been unable to get into a dangerous area. Ty Uziak had one that went right to the keeper. Kevin Payne had one that he was unable to get on frame. And then Spencer Powell just now able to get up and win the ball, not able to create any danger with it. Spencer Powell getting up and winning another ball.
as Kevin Payne is looking for options. Give it to Max Crawford. Max Crawford will give it back to his keeper, Sean O'Mara. O'Mara will boot it up. This one will be found by Tulip City.
A little more cohesion in the squad than there was earlier, as the subs seem to have helped and been at smart positions.
As Tulip City will take their time here, as they'll play a ball in towards the middle.
That one's out for a goal kick.
O'Mara will roll it out over to Max Crawford.
Owen Rush with all kinds of space in the right wing. Sees
looks-
Novello.
Who's making a run down the right side.
Novello's got Sammy. Sammy lines it up. That was a really nice save by the keeper there, but I'm not convinced that was going to be inside that post, even if he had missed it.
Yeah, it looked like that was maybe just going to be a little bit wide of that post. As Tulip City is coming right back with the counter of their own.
And that's so tough to do at a dead run like that, even with the ball on the ground and knowing that nothing weird's going to happen as it rolls to you on the turf. But I can very much sympathize with the desire to not overcook that and send it over the crossbar. Sammy just unable to get enough on it or get it on frame, but great run by him to get into position. So he's looking to be dangerous again as Spencer Powell's bringing it up. Finds Sammy. Needs this ball to slow down, and it does not.
As it'll be a goal kick for Tulip City.
I believe a water break.
Water break
I was
first, though.
about to say 15 minutes left in this half. It's a little odd that we haven't had one of those yet, and the refs must have realized that at about the same time.
As we sit here, as the game is tied 1-1.
Here at Eastern Field is 382 soccer fans. Also a quick reminder that bidding closes at 8 p.m. in our game jersey auction. 100% of the proceeds are donated to Carefree Medical and the Refugee Development Center here in Lansing. Check our social media or scan one of the QR codes around the stadium for the auction link and get your bids in.
PA announcing through the water break that our attendance today is 382 here at Eastern Stadium. Also, a reminder from the PA, as we've talked about several times, the game-worn jerseys, including the ones that you can see being worn by the guys today, are all available for auction. There's even some that have no bids on them yet, so you can just get in and be the winner at the minimum price of 40 bucks, and all the proceeds are going to our partners at Carefree Medical and the Refugee Development Center.
Game-worn jerseys are being auctioned off with the proceeds benefiting Carefree Medical and the Refugee Development Center.
As the guys prepare to come back in. Tulip City's coach wants to stretch this out a little bit. So we're going to come back for a Tulip City goal kick.
Also, if we score 2 more goals this half, you'll receive a 20% coupon to Sparty's Coney Island and Frandor Shopping Center.
Tulip City making sure they get every one of these seconds out of this water break.
Yeah, they've been extending the time here for sure. Taking every second that they can to get situated.
Just in case you were curious how their coaching staff felt this game was going.
As here we go.
In the game for Tulip City, number 10, Isaiah Arredondo. He'll be replacing number 2, Tristan Spittle.
Mooney on the ball, plays home to Sean O'Mara, who sees Owen Resch, unable to get it quite over to him. Tulip City's going to misplay this one out of bounds.
As here comes a heave of a throw-in from Max Crawford. But the ref will say, not so fast.
Ben Derby with plenty of space in front of him. With that substitution, Tulip City seems to be shifting into more of a defensive shell. And Sammy Omar is going to take this throw for the Robins. Got Mooney for the easy one. Sees him, takes it. Mooney sees Noe, plays it back to Sammy Omar. Sammy's got options in the box.
We played over to Spencer Powell.
Spencer unable to get his foot over it. Just not able to get it inside the near post, and it's out for a corner.
As the Robins look to get set here. Looks like it'll be Mooney that'll be taking the corner kick. This ball will be played in. The keeper will go up and make a nice save. This one will be booted.
That one just went straight out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Be a throw in for the Robins. Ben Derby's looking for someone. Tulip City will switch field with all types of space to work with.
Owen Resch came over on the overlap to help out Max Crawford and just wins that ball and then turns around and takes it upfield himself. Saw Novello and Ty Uziak unable to get it to either of them.
Tulip City's going to play a ball to the left side. They'll switch field. That ball will be played up in the air. So a shot on goal. It'll be deflected.
And Ben Novello with an opportunity to apply some pressure here. Now Owen Resch comes up to help.
Tulip City will look to move here.
Oh boy, I don't know what 18 saw there, but he just, apparently it was deflected. Now for a corner.
Completely stopped his momentum there to turn it around. And
he actually did well to get Spence to leave his feet and find some space, but he couldn't get his shoulders around and get it on net.
As it'll be a corner kick coming up here for Tulip City. As they play this ball in. Kevin Payne does a good job.
Yeah, great work by KP. And then 25 seemed to be a little frustrated with how that went down and decided to leave his feet all alone and send the ball out of bounds for a goal kick.
As O'Mara will play this out from the backfield. That ball was just out of the reach of Owen Resch. But the Robins will earn themselves a throw-in. Max Crawford's looking. He's looking for Ben Novello, just unable to contain that ball.
KP needs help. It shows up.
Nice job by Max Crawford, switching back to the middle. Sean O'Mara will make the save. So he'll elect to the throw. It'll find Mooney. Mooney will find Sammy. Sammy back to Mooney. Mooney was looking for a run there, but it'll find an open Owen Resch with tons of space. Resch
Shoved down in the box, gets up and wins it again, and
as Lansing Common will not get any call there.
Mooney with space, sees Ty. Ty sees Sammy, turns it back, tries to get it on frame and just can't do it. 85th minute. Let's see how long it takes Tulip City's keeper to send this goal kick.
They'll play this ball up.
Now he turns it over to Mooney, who sets it to Bendevello, and just a little bit lazy, turns it right over. Max Crawford wins that one. Back to Bendevello, and a foul is called on Max Crawford for winning a header against somebody who's about 3-4 inches taller than him.
Tulip City will play this ball up in the box. Sean O'Mara will get up and go get that ball. Snatching it out of the air. O'Mara will play this ball up. Just looking for Uziak. That ball's just a little bit too high. Tulip City will regain possession as they look to move.
Yeah, and they've just got too much space to work with in our midfield right now. It's not pretty.
Yeah, the passing lanes are pretty open for them right now. That was not a very good pass. Nice job by Mooney cutting that ball off as the Robins will look to move. As Owen Resch was calling for the ball, just didn't look like Sammy saw him over there on that right side.
Yeah, I wonder if that was an instance where the side's wearing nearly...
Tulip City wanted the call there, but
I'm not sure who's yelling or what they're yelling about there, but KP didn't see a man, backed over him and went down on top of him.
As Owen Resch will earn a call for the Robins. As we reach the 87th minute here.
Max Crawford, I think, is going to take this one. About 30 yards from goal. Brent Sorg shouting instructions. Seems like Max is going to go back post with this one, as about the entire team is on that side of the box. He does.
So play this ball up.
He was there, but unable to get ahead on it. As him and Ben Derby, maybe surprised that they were both so open.
It'll be a goal kick for Tulip City. As we nearly reach the 88th minute here.
I think I just saw the head referee signal. Yes, she signaled for 2 minutes of extra time, which is an opinion.
Definitely an opinion. That just means the Robins need to move quick here. Robins will get back here. Tulip City with a lot of space on the right side. So they'll play a ball in. Max Crawford gets a head on it. That ball will be deflected. So it spins out of bounds for a Tulip City throw-in.
Tulip City player gets tangled up with Sammy Omar, and foul is given about 30 yards away from goal.
As they look to play this ball into the box. So it'll be a shot on goal that Sean O'Mara deflected off his body, but was able to corral it back. As he'll boot this one down. It'll be a throw in for the Robins as we reach the 90th minute here. As Ty Uziak will look to move. He'll earn another throw in.
Dean has indicated a minimum of 2-minute stoppage time.
Max Crawford will wind up for what is going to be a rather long throw in.
Tulip City's got a whole lot of bodies in the box right now trying to defend this one.
Crawford will throw that one in. Him and the keeper will play a game of catch as they'll come and grab that. Tulip City was looking to run here. Robin's looking to get back defensively.
And they do so, which is good to see, as they've been burned in that type of scenario before, but the defense was sound there.
It's a great save from Sean O'Mara. Sliding to make that grab. As Sean O'Mara will tell his guys to go up as they are looking to score here. So he'll boot one up.
Got Owen Rush, he sees Owen Rush.
Rush with a nice touch with his head.
Great flick. Unfortunately, Ben Novello gets unlucky and ends up being the last one to touch it. Tulip City going slow as we're about 30 seconds from the end of this one.
Very slow.
Ben Novello wins that one, and it goes out for a corner.
Be a corner kick.
So this one's going to end the same way most of the game has gone, with Lansing Common on the ball in a dangerous position. Sean O'Mara looks like he wants to come up into the box. He's not doing it. Ty Uziak on this corner.
Uziak will elect the short pass.
Mooney. And the referee signals for full time. That's the end of 90. A 1-1 draw between Lansing Common and Tulip City that it seems like one side is much happier than the other, and that'll put a bow on the 2024 campaign for the Robins. Thank you so much on behalf of myself and Marshall Acosta for spending your evenings, afternoons, and in some cases your morning with us on the finest stream, the lower levels of American soccer. We appreciate all of our interns, all of our staff for all they do to make this successful. Thanks for another great season, folks. We will see you out there.